roundabout is dedicated to children of all ages who love railways and share the ambition of being engine drivers. Talyllyn Railway is built to a gauge of 2 feet 3 inches. This is unusual, as the more common gauge for Welsh narrow gauge railways is 1 foot 11.5 inches. The 2 foot 3 was probably adopted because it was the gauge of the rails and wagons already in use in the slate quarries. The same gauge was used at the quarries at Upper Corris, served by the Corris Railway, now defunct. This has been fortunate, as some of the Corris stock is now in use on the Talyllyn. The Talyllyn narrow gauge railway is not a toy railway. It's a real working line, properly constituted by Act of Parliament, subject to the same statutory rules and regulations as Big Brother British Railways, as witness the bylaws of the original company. Bylaws and regulations made by the Talyllyn Railway Company for regulating the travelling upon the Talyllyn Railway. No passenger will be allowed to enter any carriage used on the railway or to travel therein upon the railway without having first paid his fare and obtained a ticket. Each passenger, on payment of his fare, will be furnished with a ticket specifying the class of carriage and the distance for which the fare has been paid, which ticket such passenger is to show when required by the guard in charge of the train, and to deliver up before leaving the company's premises upon demand to the guard or other servant of the company duly authorized to collect tickets. Any person travelling without permission in a carriage of superior class to that for which he has obtained a ticket is hereby subjected to a penalty not exceeding 40 shillings. Smoking tobacco is strictly prohibited both in the carriages and in the company's stations. Every person smoking tobacco in a carriage or station is hereby subjected to a penalty not exceeding 40 shillings. And every person persisting in smoking tobacco in a carriage or station, after being warned to desist by the guard in charge of the train or any officer of the company, shall, in addition to incurring a penalty not exceeding 40 shillings, be immediately, or if travelling at the first opportunity, removed from the company's premises. Any person found in a carriage or station in a state of intoxication or committing any nuisance or otherwise willfully interfering with the comfort of other passengers is hereby subjected to a penalty not exceeding 40 shillings and shall immediately, or if travelling at the first opportunity, be removed from the company's premises. No passenger shall be permitted to ride on the roof, steps or platform of any carriage, and any person persisting in doing so, after being warned to desist by the guard in charge of the train or any officer of the company, is hereby subjected to a penalty not exceeding 40 shillings. Dogs will not be suffered to accompany passengers in the carriages, but will be conveyed separately and charged for. Given under the common seal of the Talyllyn Railway Company the 10th day of June 1867. The Lords of the Committee of Her Majesty's Privy Council for Trade and Foreign Plantations hereby signify their allowance and approval of the above bylaws and regulations. Signed by order of the Lords of the said Committee, one of the Secretaries of the said Committee. Now I'd like you to meet the President of the Talyllyn Railway Preservation Society and the Chairman of the Talyllyn Railway Company, the Right Honourable the Earl of North Esk.
Wait a minute, Bill. Don't I hear a Great Western whistle? Yes, it must be. It is. It's my old friend Edward Thomas, number 4, just leaving. Oh, there she goes. I think I know her better than most of our locomotives. I've fired her on many occasions and driven her, and we seem to get on jolly well together.
Sure you do, Lord North Esk. Are you an engine driver or a past fireman?
I'm a past fireman and a qualified driver on the Talyllyn, both of which I'm jolly proud.
I know that you're proud of the whole railway, aren't you?
Intensely proud. the members have done something, I think, here. They have preserved and brought back to its finest one of these lovely little old narrow gauge railways of our country. And when steam is unfortunately going to vanish from our railways, we will always steam on the Talyllyn.
I take it you've always been interested in railways, then?
Always, yes. Ever since my earliest days, as a small boy, I was given a toy set, and thank God I've never grown up.
Have you any other particular memory of the railway that fascinates you, that you wouldn't have missed, an occasion that you wouldn't have missed?
Well, one, yes. When at one of the annual general meetings, unfortunately it was a pouring wet day, I was firing, and rail was slippery. I had to get out on the buffer beam. My back was being cooked by the smoke box door, and I was sanding for all I was worth. And later at the meeting I said, if anyone can find a picture of any chairman of a railway company doing what I did today, I'm delighted to have it. I still haven't got it.
No, I don't think you will get one either. You referred to the future, many years ahead. You're confident that the railway will go on like that?
Absolutely. I think, thanks to the wonderful work in the way of producing finance, and primarily in the hard work, the real hard work of all the members, the Talyllyn Railway was safe for posterity.
Thank you very much, my lord. And now let's meet someone who's very often seen about the line, the Secretary of the Talyllyn Railway Preservation Society, Pat Whitehouse.
Well, Bill, this is certainly a tremendous difference from the day when we first opened the railway as far as the society was concerned, which was what? Let's see, which Saturday, 1951. Excuse me, coughing, that's the smoke coming out of Edward Thomas. Of course, Edward Thomas is a very special engine. She's really our newest engine. She was built in 1921, and she's a real workaday engine. As you see her, she's got a very flat, funny-looking chimney, quite a peculiar-looking thing. Now, this is a design of an Austrian professor. It's called a Giesel ejector chimney, which is a very modern device which helps us to save coal and makes the actual running of the engine from the cylinder back pressure point of view very much easier. So that she's now a much more economical engine than she used to be. So you can see that through this gift, and it was a gift to us from Austria, a typical thing, we've now got one of the most modern and up-to-date engines there is in the whole of the British Isles as far as steam engines are concerned.
Within sight and sound of the narrow gauge line he served for so many years, a former manager and the present director of the Talyllyn Railway is still living, and at 83 years of age looks back with pride and affection on the little line now so safely preserved for the future. Here is Edward Thomas.
They have named one of the engines after me, Edward Thomas.
That's a nice compliment.
Which is running now, yes.
Do you ever go on it now?
Very seldom. Very seldom.
Do you like to see it, I'm sure, don't you?
Yes, I see it every day. I live close by it.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Any particular day that you remember when things all went wrong or went right or something? Can you think of anything in particular?
Well, I don't know, but I can tell you, I can give you a little incident that happened to one of the engines, the old Dolgoch engine. It was the custom when the late Sir Haydn Jones was returned Liberal MP from Ironshire to run a special train from Towyn to Abergnowen to bring the Liberals down from Abergnowen and the district. And of course, that day, they were all Liberals. I remember one occasion when Sir Haydn was returned, the old driver thought he had a parade wheel. And he decided to add an additional whistle to Dolgoch, so that the old engine would have two whistles instead of one. Well, all went well. And at Abergnowen station, the coaches were all filled up, and about 15 open trucks behind, with men, women, and children. Well, as I said, signal was given for the train to start down. And it was a great success. But when he drew the regulator to start the engine, it wouldn't move. And he turned to me and he said in Welsh, "Gallai am hoy symud ti. This is him symud. It won't move." Oh, well, I said, "I know what is the matter." "Well, what is it?" he said. "The whistles," I said, "have used up all the steam." You'll have to wait until it gets up steam again.
That's wonderful.
My family has been connected with the railway for about 100 years.
It must be very, very satisfying to you, though, having known it so many years, to see it running well today.
Oh, yes.
And the number of passengers is growing rapidly each year now.
Yes. Oh, yes. I think it'll make a very good season. But of course, it depends to a very, very great extent on the weather.
Ah, the Welsh weather. But then Wales, like Scotland, Switzerland, in fact anywhere where the mountains gather the clouds to fill the watersheds, is subject to the vagaries of sudden storms. But whatever the weather, and despite the open coaches, Talyllyn last year carried over 70,000 passengers during the season.
It was very good to hear old Edward Thomas's voice again, because Edward Thomas is really the father of the railway as far as we're concerned. Okay, Bill, let's go and have a look around the shed and see what we can find, shall we?
I'd like to,
Just
Pat.
around the corner here. Ah, here's Bill Faulkner. Now, Bill's I call him the gaffer, really. He's the engineering director of the railway. He's the engineering king of the society, and without Bill, the railway just wouldn't run.
You must be a busy man, Mr. Faulkner.
Yes, I am, Mr. Hartley. We've got a very busy morning this morning. As you see, we've 3 engines in steam, and we hope to have quite a big crowd to take up the valley this afternoon.
And in a man's world here at Pendray, one of the coaches is being painted, and there's a lady working on it. Yes, can we identify you?
Mrs. Monica Sherrill, Wolverhampton. Yes.
This is a new job for you, or why are you here?
Well, you might say that I married into the society. My husband practically made it a condition of engagement that I should also become a member.
What do you think is the particular fascination?
Well, of course, I'm not very knowledgeable about railways, but even to someone like myself, there is an intense fascination about a historic little line like this, and the rolling stock and the locos, and to keep it going is a wonderful aim to work for.
The booking office is already busy. People asking questions, buying souvenirs, postcards. Pat Whitehouse has a good story about these.
One of our very fine members was Ken Marion, who was general manager down here for several years from 1952 onwards. And he used to see to it that everybody was properly refreshed. As you see here in the booking office, we've got a lot of postcards for sale. And during Ken's time, the maximum number of different postcards was 31. But if you came in on a Sunday to work or late in the evening to work and asked Ken for a postcard number 32, you could guarantee that he'd open the cupboard, and underneath in the shelves there was a bottle of double diamond.
The chairman of the Talyllyn Urban District Council, Councillor R.O. Griffith, is another man whose association with the Talyllyn reaches back for 2 generations. Mr. Griffith, as chairman of the Talyllyn Urban District Council, the relations between you and the Talyllyn Railway are very good, aren't they?
They certainly are, yes.
And is it true that the council itself is a member?
The council is a member, and they've also contributed lump sums towards the effort of the Preservation Society.
The railway brings a lot of people.
Certainly. Our experience is that we get more inquiries from the Talyllyn Railway Guide than any other guide we advertise.
You've known the railway
all
your life, haven't you?
practically all my life, and I'm 60 now. Many a time went up on the engines, and more than once got into trouble by running one engine out of the shed when it was in steam.
So, yeah, that was the way for the boy to play train.
That's right, yes.
When you look back, Bill, it's difficult to realize just how much work has gone into this railway since 1951. We've literally had to rebuild and remake 7 miles of railway. And the whole of this has had to be done by money raised by donations and by subscriptions and by gifts. One of the things we do intend to do as soon as possible is to extend the railway from Abergynolwyn up to Bryn Eglis, which is a beauty spot at the bottom of the first of the inclines which ran up to the old quarry. We are quite definitely doing everything we can, in fact we have to, by the rules of the whole organisation, to keep the Victorian character of the Talyllyn Railway and in effect preserve a little bit of yesterday for the pleasure of tomorrow.
And back at Pendray, the old lady has put on her train in readiness for the afternoon's work. A gay old lady, rocking and rolling, ready to leave her stock and bed it down.
Being a privileged person, I'm standing on the footplate of the old lady. We've been driven by Herbert Jones. Herbert, you've got a big connection with the railway, haven't you?
Yes, but let's go inside. It's a bit quieter in there and on the footplate.
Well, now, Herbert, that's a bit more peaceful outside your house, just by Pendray Station. Let's get back to this family connection. You and your brother and your father have all been on the railway. When did it start?
Well, my grandfather was here for 25 years, and my father has been working as a driver for 10 years and with a company in the quarry for 14. And I've been here since I was a kid.
I imagine the family was very pleased when the society came into operation.
Oh, yes, it's a good thing and a good thing for the town.
Have you got a preference amongst the engines?
Oh, yes.
Which one?
Oh, I like Edward Thomas. He's a very good engine.
Charles? A favourite engine. Have you got a favourite amongst them?
103 was my favourite. But now she's needs a new boiler, I think.
She's the one that's out of action for the time being.
Yeah. It's nice to see her back. Well, I rode on her just before she went away, so I'm hoping I can have the first trip up the line with her again.
I feel sure you will.
Yes.
If your brother doesn't beat still. Now, Herbert, how about saying something in Welsh, a sort of word of welcome to...
Wel, dyma un dweud gair yn Gymraeg, a gobeithio y trafeiliwch ar y lein fach ar ôl clywed y record hon.
What was that?
Well, here I am speaking in Welsh and hoping that you will travel on the railway after hearing this record.